Today our topic is the art of saying no, a Stoic perspective. Life is full of choices, and every day we are faced with decisions that shape our path. One of the most powerful tools we have in navigating these choices is the ability to say no. But saying no is not always easy. It can feel uncomfortable, even wrong, especially when we worry about disappointing others or missing out on opportunities. However, from a Stoic perspective, saying no is not just a skill, it is an art. It is about understanding what truly matters, setting boundaries, and staying true to ourselves. The Stoics, ancient philosophers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, taught that the key to a good life lies in focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. This wisdom is deeply connected to the art of saying no. Let's explore why saying no is so important and how Stoic principles can guide us in mastering this art. First, let's talk about why saying no is so hard. Many of us struggle with it because we want to be liked, helpful, or seen as dependable. We fear that saying no will make us seem rude, selfish, or unkind. But the truth is, saying yes to everything often leads to burnout, stress, and a loss of focus on what truly matters. When we say yes to things that don't align with our values or goals, we waste precious time and energy. The Stoics believe that time is our most valuable resource, and wasting it on things that don't serve us is a form of self-betrayal. By learning to say no, we protect our time and energy for the things that truly matter. So, how can Stoicism help us say no with confidence and clarity? The first step is to understand what is within our control and what is not. The Stoics taught that we cannot control other people's opinions, expectations, or reactions. What we can control is our own choices and actions. When we say no, we are not responsible for how others feel about it. Their disappointment or frustration is their own to manage, not ours. This understanding frees us from the fear of rejection or judgment and allows us to make decisions based on what is best for us. Another important Stoic principle is the idea of living in alignment with our values. To say no effectively, we must first know what we stand for. What are our priorities? What kind of life do we want to live? When we are clear about our values, saying no becomes easier because we can see when a request or opportunity does not align with them. For example, if one of your core values is spending quality time with your family, you might say no to working late or taking on extra projects that interfere with that time. By staying true to your values, you create a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. Stoicism also teaches us to focus on the present moment. Often we say yes to things because we are worried about the future, what we might miss out on, or what others might think. But the Stoics remind us that the future is uncertain and largely out of our control. The only moment we truly have is the present. By staying grounded in the here and now, we can make decisions that feel right for us in the moment, rather than being driven by fear or anxiety about what might happen later. One of the most powerful Stoic practices for mastering the art of saying no is the practice of negative visualization. This involves imagining the worst-case scenario and realizing that we can handle it. For example, if you are afraid to say no to a friend who asks for a favor, imagine what might happen if you do. Will they be upset? Maybe. But will it be the end of the world? Probably not. Often, we build up the consequences of saying no in our minds, making them seem much worse than they really are. By practicing negative visualization, we can reduce our fear and gain the courage to say no when necessary. Another Stoic tool for saying no is the practice of Premeditatio Malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This involves anticipating challenges and preparing ourselves to face them with resilience. When it comes to saying no, this might mean rehearsing how you will respond to requests that don't align with your priorities. For example, you might practice saying, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I can't take this on right now." By preparing in advance, you can respond with confidence and clarity, rather than feeling caught off guard or pressured to say yes. It's also important to remember that saying no is not a rejection of the person making the request, but a prioritization of your own needs and values. The Stoics believed in treating others with kindness and respect, but they also understood that we cannot pour from an empty cup. By saying no to things that drain us, we are better able to show up fully for the people and activities that truly matter to us. This is not selfish, it is self-respect. And when we respect ourselves, we set an example for others to do the same. Another key Stoic lesson is the importance of detachment. This does not mean being cold or uncaring, but rather recognizing that we cannot control everything, and that it is okay to let go. When we say no, we are letting go of the need to please everyone or be everything to everyone. This can be liberating. It allows us to focus on what is truly important and to live with greater peace and purpose. Detachment also helps us to accept the consequences of our decisions without regret. If saying no leads to disappointment or conflict, we can acknowledge these feelings without being overwhelmed by them. We can remind ourselves that we made the best choice we could with the information we had, and that is enough. Finally, the Stoics teach us to embrace imperfection and accept that we cannot do it all. Life is full of competing demands, and it is impossible to say yes to everything. When we try, we spread ourselves too thin and end up doing nothing well. By saying no, we create space to excel in the areas that matter most to us. This is not failure, it is wisdom. It is the recognition that we are human, with limits and priorities, and that is okay. In conclusion, the art of saying no is a powerful tool for living a Stoic life. It allows us to protect our time and energy, stay true to our values, and focus on what truly matters. By understanding what is within our control, living in alignment with our values, and practicing Stoic techniques like negative visualization and detachment, we can say no with confidence and clarity. Remember, saying no is not about being selfish or unkind, it is about respecting ourselves and creating a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. So the next time you are faced with a request or opportunity that doesn't align with your priorities, take a deep breath. Remember your Stoic principles and give yourself permission to say no. It is not only okay, it is essential.